Hey everybody, I'm Jaha Zainabu, and this is Storytime with Jaha Zainabu 42 Part 3 slash 365. I hope that you are well. Today, I'm going to talk briefly about blogging. And the reason I'm going to talk about blogging is because I've had in the last less than 3 days, I've had a cajillion conversations about people who were thinking about starting a blog. I've been blogging since 2008. Yeah, 8 in the MySpace days. Yeah, and probably every single solitary day since then. I went from MySpace to um, Tumblr, I think. MySpace to Tumblr to Blogspot, and I stayed on Blogspot. I went to Blogspot in 2009, and I was on Blogspot until for a long time until 2020. 2020, I joined Patreon, and that's where I am now. Join my Patreon. I'll put the I'll put it in the description. But for you now, it is www.patreon.com/Jaha the memberships start at the $5 a month, which, easy peasy. And I post every day. I use my blog as a kind of a diary, kind of a day in my life. I post, what do I post? I post prayers. I post poems. I post pictures. A lot of P's, huh? Pictures. I post paintings. I post poems. There's a lot of P's. I post poems. I didn't mean it to be like that though. I post poems, stories, like personal stories, fictional stories. These days, I'm posting a lot of. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm on this mission to lose weight right now, and so I post like everything that I eat, every meal I eat, I post. Which it has been helping me, to be honest with you, because before I eat anything, I always ask myself, do I want to post this and share it? Do I want to post this much on my plate? um, and if the answer is no, then I don't eat it. And I've been really good with myself. And I lost 6 pounds. Okay, okay, give your girl some back pats. Anyway, blogging. So I think that, like, from the conversations that I've been having, people tend to think that it has to be this, great academic, I don't know, well thought out, like these dissertations, these great stories, and these, you know, great things. And they don't. They can be very, 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 very simple. My blogs, sometimes they are very long, and and I get very personal. Um, Back in, let's say, from 2011 to probably 2014, they were mostly about depression. I went through some really hard depressive spells back then. I was not diagnosed. I am now. I was not then. And so there was a lot going on with me mentally. Like, what is going on with me? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I tripping? Why? So the blog can be whatever you want it to be, right? So let's say I had a conversation with a friend today who said, I just don't want the blog. I'm kind of going through a lot of experiencing a lot of loss, and I don't want to be like negative every day. Well, the thing is, it's going to be up and down. The post, if you're writing about, if you're doing your blog like a journal, like a day in your life, it's going to be up and down. You're every day, you're not the same thing. Some days you are more up than others. Some days you're feeling it, some days you're not. Some days you are going to want to expand, some days you won't. The thing is, if you want to start a blog, do it. Post it, whatever it's about. For like I said, for many years, my blog was about depression, and I really went through a lot of depressive stuff. I went through, especially, I don't know, maybe around 2013 was kind of probably the worst because I don't know. But during the time when I was first diagnosed and I was going through figuring out, the doctors rather, and I were going through figuring out what cocktail of medication was best for me. I was, emotionally, it was a roller coaster. And so were my blog posts at that time. Ask anybody. And then some days they weren't. So let's say you want to do a blog, a day in your life, and my life, that's what mine is. And my life is not your life is as exciting as you make it. I'm not a globetrotter. I'm not in Atlanta today, in Paris tomorrow, in Dubai by Thursday, back to Atlanta by Sunday, on my way to Jamaica the next day. That's not my life. I am pretty much here. Well, last month I was in LA, but for the most part, I'm home. I'm probably gone, you know, at the most a week, once, maybe every other month or something like that. But for the most part, my blogs are, I'm here. And most people are wherever they live. Most people are there. Um, so my blogs tend to, not tend, they start off with the time of day and where I am. So I don't even know what time it is. 6:30 p.m. Atlanta. And I tend to wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning. So like I wake up pretty slowly. Not slowly, but like quietly. I like to listen to a lot of Buddhist teachings when I get up. It's my thing. And so I'll listen and I'll meditate, I'll pray, I'll think, I'll whatever. And then my first post is usually somewhere around maybe 5:30, 5:45. So my blogs tend to go something like 5:30 at 5:30 a.m. Atlanta. And then my first post is usually a gratitude post, things that I'm thankful for, things and people that I'm thankful for, or it's a prayer, or it's some kind of meditative, positive thought, just because that's how I like to begin my day. Sometime around 9, I have breakfast. I might post a photo of eggs and waffles or tea or whatever I have for breakfast, and then post that. And then I usually go to the gym after that. I may or may not post a gym picture or whatever. And then I get home. I talk about what I intend to do for the day, what writing projects I'm working on. I might post a poem that I am that I have recently finished, or that I am working on, or I might post something interesting that I saw, or say I didn't go to the gym. I'll post photos from my walk, whatever, right? Just post it. Um, I will at some point do, I don't so much, anymore, but I used to at some point do some kind of mental health check-in. Um, I have been off meds for maybe 2 years now. And it wasn't easy at first, but I'm pretty regular these days. Mostly because it takes work. I'm not regular just because I'm cured of being bipolar. Um, it's work. Like I have to I go to bed early and at a certain time every night that I'm home. Every night that I'm home, I try to be in bed by 9. I'm up at a decent hour. I have to eat certain kinds of foods. I have to stay away from certain kinds of foods. I have to drink a shitload of water. I I have to live my life peacefully. Like, peace is paramount in my life. I just can't do like chaotic shit because it triggers me. I have to be very careful about the content that I consume. Facebook, news, Instagram, shit like that. So I might talk about that. I might have a mental health kind of check-in or post or something like that. But that is me. Like, what is going on in your life? There is something that makes you you. Just like there's something that makes me me. There's something unique about you. And maybe you are in the inquiry of what that is. So what? Stay being curious. Write about that. Post about, I don't know, are you dating? Are you on the dating sites? Do you have a boo? You gotta, whatever they call them. I don't know if they call them what they're calling boyfriends and girlfriends these days. Do you have one of those? What's that like? Whatever it is, are you a mom? You a single mom? You a married mom? You a booed up mom? What's it like with your newborn or your toddler or your teenager? What's that like? I think the latest question I had regarding blogs was someone asked about like navigating between telling her story and telling like a family member's story also, right? My thing on that is this. I'm gonna be real with you. First of all, my thing on that is this. If a motherfucker don't want you telling that story, sometimes it's because they treated you like shit and they shouldn't have. So fuck them. That's kind of first of all my story. But maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you feel like, well, I want to stall them out and I don't want to put them out there like that. That's cool. That's you. That's a good way to be. I don't know. Then don't, but you are a part of like whatever story. You can tell your story without naming him or her. You can do that. You can give this person a fake name. You can, if this person is your uncle, you can say it's your brother. You can say it's your cousin. Nobody is fact checking your shit. Nobody is going to jump into the comments going, nah, well, it really, commenters are full of shit. So there might be a commenter that does that, but fuck him. Just tell you so. But my being on the other side, like my take on, I've told my son is a writer, right, and a great one. And I have said this to him privately. I have said this to him publicly on stage. If, to him, I will say this to him in this video. Urias, if there is a story that involves you and involves me, and in that story I look bad, tell the story. I mean, like I think are obsessed with living these really, really perfect lives. And we don't live really, really perfect lives. Now, don't that's like if it involves you, don't pull, a time in my lowest part of my life and go, this is what my mama did. And it don't have shit to do with me, but ain't she full of shit? Ain't that funny? No, don't do that. Don't anybody do that. But I don't want somebody torn between I really, my son and I went through a pretty tough time in 2019, and we were homeless, and it was not easy. I mean, we were homeless, we were in hotels. We weren't sleeping under a bridge. We were in hotels. And but we were in hotels every day. And I don't know if you can wrap your head around the I don't know, hustle it must take to pay rent at 10 o'clock every morning. Like $150 every single morning. Every morning. It wasn't easy. And I wasn't there by myself, and my son wasn't there by himself. We were in that together, and like I said, it wasn't easy. And thank God we did get through that, and we both have homes now. But being on this side of it, with us both housed, and that might be something that he wants to write about. And who am I to say, no, shh, we're not going to talk about that. That did not happen. It did happen, though. Right? It did. It happened. And I'm quite proud and happy and thankful to God that that story actually turned out to be an incredible testimony. Yeah, we were in hotels every night for more than a few months. But every morning we paid rent. It was never a time we didn't have it. Never. Not one time. There was not one time we were sitting in the car like, what the fuck are we going to do? That it didn't happen. There was never a time we didn't eat. It was never a time we were sitting in the car looking at each other like, whew. That never happened. Not only did that not happen, me being the Virgo that I am, every night in the hotel, I unpacked the whole car. I decorated the shit. I hung up our clothes. My art supplies were over here. We always had fresh flowers. Do you need fresh flowers when you live in a hotel? Not really. But we had them because I made sure of it. And my son used to always say, Mom, we don't live here. Tonight we do. We do tonight. Tonight we live here. And that's a story that like I said, I did not live by myself. And who would I be to tell him, don't write about that? Because of whatever shit it might do, to my ego. So that's my thing. I think blogs are a good idea. I think they are fun. They saved me. How did they save me? They saved me because living with depression, I can um, tend to want to withdraw. And if I'm going through a pretty rough cycle, I'll I could stay in and never leave my home. I work from home as a writer, as a painting. I sell art and books and um, yeah. Um, but the clouds get dark, and they have, and I could just retreat. And when you're in the thick of it, 2 weeks could easily fly by, and you don't realize that 2 weeks has gone by. Just 2 weeks has gone by, and somehow you're in the same clothes, and you haven't checked the mail. You haven't been outside. It gets easy. But because I blog every day, I do have a consistent following, and some of my followers, when if I miss a day, it's a thing. Like, hey, like I will get a text like, "You good?" "I'm good. I'm just on a plane." "I'm good. I'm gonna hit you like, a few extra posts tomorrow." But like, so it's like that accountability thing. And I I'm a writer, and so I write every day. And anyway, so it's not like really hard for me. It's not a push for me to get a post out every day. But it keeps me accountable. It keeps me connected. Like I said, these days it keeps me on my diet. But and I've also heard, I don't know what to write about. But the thing is, here it is. Everywhere you are, there's a story there. So, if you are at the airport, people watch. Let's see. I'm making shit up right now. 7:30 a.m. Atlanta. I am sitting in Delta. No, let's not make it Delta. That's a little boosh. Let's make it Southwest. All right, let's make it real. All right, at 7:30 a.m. Atlanta. Good morning, y'all, or whatever you call your people. I'm at the Atlanta airport, sitting in Southwest, waiting for my flight. There's this man across from me. Da 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 da. Make up a story about him. I don't know. Tell the story of where you were last night. What brought you here? What are you in the airport for? Where are you going? Why the fuck are you flying Southwest? All the things, right? There's always a story. There's a story. There's a story when you land. There's always an airplane story. There's always a baby or a pet or a weird stewardess. There's always something. Okay, so you're not getting on a plane. You're not going anywhere. You are you work at Walmart. Please, if you work at Walmart and you don't have a story, you're not you don't really work at Walmart. Stop lying. Okay? You have a story if you work at Walmart. It is impossible to not have a story and work at Walmart. You don't work at Walmart, you work from home. You do, I don't know what people do working from home. And they're not a writer or a painter. you do one of those customer service jobs. If you work in customer service and you don't have a story, you're not working hard enough, right? So wherever you are, there's a story. And here's the thing, nobody said your blog posts have to be 5 pages long. They could be a paragraph. You could the day after the election, this last presidential election, my post simply said, fuck post. That was the post. Um, and then some days I'm kind of chatty. And I'll post like, I don't know. I try to keep it short. Not short, but I try to not have a whole bunch of posts. Like, I don't want people, when they go to their email, it's like ding, 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 ding. I try not to have that because I want to keep my subscribers. But sometimes I've posted, I think today I was on one. Today I was on one, and I posted probably 7 posts. I can't help it. But then other days I'm only posting 1. And they might be short. Just, hey everybody, 5:30 a.m. Wednesday, Atlanta. Just wanted to say hey to everybody. Not much to do on my to-do list. I think I'm actually going to chill. I'm going to get up and make some tea. And honestly, I think I might go back to bed. Y'all check out that new Netflix series called Wayward. It is popping. It actually is. Check it out. Or something like that. It could be as short as that. Yeah, see how easy peasy that is? You, say you, I almost said something and then I took it back, but I'm going to say what I was going to say and I'm still going to take it back. I was going to say, maybe you don't want to do it every day. Maybe you do it once a week, right? I don't get down with once a week just because, here's the thing, it's too easy for you to miss your Sunday post and then you decide next Sunday that you're going to miss then too, and then you're not doing it no more. Like, that's my thing about, like, I think, like, whatever it is you're doing, and maybe it's just me and like this is my personality, whatever it is I'm doing, like some kind of art project, I tend to go like all in. I tend to jump in there and do it every day. And I've said 9 million times on this blog that I love a project, and I love a year project. I don't know why, but I love projects that last a year. Even with this YouTube project, me posting here. I took a break for the month of September. I think I only posted, I came online maybe 2 or 3 times in September, maybe. And then in August, I took an intentional break. In August, I was intentionally not, I posted on my Patreon, but not here on YouTube. For the month of August, I just decided that I wasn't doing it for August. But I'm back. And even now being back, the videos are, like, my intention is that the story times are an hour long. And the reason this is story time 42 part 3 is because story time 42 was about, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes. I was in a coffee shop and it was kind of getting loud, but I thought the post was interesting enough and I didn't want to not post it. So I posted it. And then when I did 42 part 2, I did that last night. I did 42 part 2, and that was about maybe 35 minutes long. And I just did a home tour, like a story of my home. And then I'm here today, talking to you about posting your blog, starting your blog, which, I love blogs. I love, like, here are my favorites. some people have blogs where like they are like a professional or at something. They're not a professional at that don't even sound right. Like they are the word is like leaving my brain, but they are like a master of this thing. Like they're a um I don't know, you might be good at making airplanes and you have a whole blog about making airplanes and you talk about that thing only. That's cool. And that's fine. You know, my brain likes, a little bit of variety, but there are people who really only want to fucking talk about, I don't know, airplane making. I like blogs about like a person and everything because over the years you tend to get comfortable. Like for me, I tend to get very very comfortable, and I tend to write like nobody's reading. I tend to write like it is my for real diary. Um, and I like reading other blogs like that. Like okay, she gonna tell it. She gonna tell it. She gonna tell it. So I like that. I like people talking about mental health and I like writers who tell it. I like writers who talk about it, who go deep about it. And I don't know that I care what it is. Um, I like but I get to like be in that person's life for a minute, if they're talking about I don't know, depression or some kind of mental shit. Talk about it. Like, what did you do? What did you say? How far did you go? What happened? Um, and because I'm that way, like I really do go there, and then I talk, on the other side, I talk about like sometimes I win. Sometimes it's like really, really good shit happening in my life. And I don't feel no fuck about it, like sharing that either. Because I've shared dirt, I can share this too. You cried with me, be happy with me, you know? So those are the kinds of blogs that I like. And those are the conversations that I've been having like over the past 3 days. Like I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine who was like, I might do it. And she's a good friend and she's an incredible writer and she's funny as all get out. And I, I like to read, and sometimes and I read a lot of books, but I'd love to read like somebody that I know personally, like their stories and their late night, early morning, intimate, private thoughts. I like that. It's like you snooping in somebody's journal, but you're not snooping because they put it out in the world. And what's weird, here's the thing, here's what's weird. The specific people who I have had conversations with in the last 3 days, and you know who you are. You people keep talking about, I don't know what I'm going to write about. I don't know what I would say. Y'all are the people who post the most on Facebook. What is the difference? Like, y'all be long-winded as fuck on your Facebook post. Move that shit over to Patreon or I don't know, somewhere where you get paid for it. And long Facebook posts are just a little weird to me, a little bit. No, if you are a long Facebooker, I don't give a fuck. Keep doing you, but it's always like way out of the blue, and then some long post about your date, and then the next thing is a picture of your cat, and it's Facebook. It's not weird. It's not weird, but it's like it would be to me more interesting like if it's on like a blog And then the next post, like you might follow that up with, I don't know, another story about a date or another story about this. And then you just, like, you have a whole, and right there in a blog where stories go. It's hot in here, so the fan should come on good. Yeah, start the blog. That's all. This post probably should have been 4 lines, because that's all I've been saying repeatedly is start the blog. I'll read it. Send it to me. I'll read it. I love y'all. I do. You know what? Join my Patreon, because I want you to. And it's good. It be good. And I've been on Patreon for 5 years. So if you join today, there are many posts that you can read, to busy yourself with. I like $5 members, mostly because if you join, if you get like, I really like you, Jaha, and I want to be a $20 subscriber, you can do that. But sometimes, like, if shit goes crazy in your life with money, one of the first things you're going to cut is that $20 subscription. Like, for some reason, people don't really get that they can just, like, change it from 20 to 5. They just cancel it. And I don't want you to cancel it. I want you to stay forever and ever and ever and ever. But people don't tend to drop out at $5. They just don't. Some people have. But for the most part, people tend to stay if it's $5. And sometimes people don't miss $5. And and sometimes you ain't got it. Sometimes your card gets declined. Sometimes your account gets overdrawn. The shit happens. But join my Patreon. I'd love to have you. $5. Again, it's www.patreon.com/Jaha Zainabu. And that is it. That wraps up Storytime with Jaha Zainabu 42 Part 3. Tomorrow we will go into 43. Storytime 43. We're going to talk about writing. Don't we always? Have a good one, y'all. I love you dearly. And may, I was going to say Mother Force be with you, but